Sisters, brothers, comrades, it is an honor to be on a panel with such amazing working class fighters. I wish I could be in Chicago with you to celebrate the excellent results for Tim Meighan and Sue Garza. This conference is being held at a time of explosive social movements, from the fight for 15 to Black Lives Matter. Independent working class political action, at its best, is able to amplify these movements and help win real victories. I would encourage all those in attendance right now to participate as much as possible in this event throughout the course of this entire weekend. The Socialist Alternative speakers will be putting forward our tactics and strategy for how we can get to what is really needed, a mass party of working people to challenge the rule of the 1% and ultimately defeat big business once and for all. I unfortunately cannot join you this weekend because I have been on trial in the past days for civil disobedience in SeaTac. SeaTac is of course the small airport city near Seattle that first passed $15 an hour, setting the stage for us to win in Seattle. Alaska Airlines has brought 2 court cases since then in an attempt to overturn the voters' democratic decision, and the company is still refusing to pay what workers at SeaTac Airport are owed. I, along with a SeaTac worker and a faith leader, were on trial for standing up against Alaska Airlines. But in a rare moment of justice in this system, we won yesterday in quite dramatic fashion. The trial was dismissed partway through as the judge found the prosecution simply had no case. This was not only a vindication of myself and my co-defendants, but also a historic vindication of the nationwide fight for 15. I'd like to outline some of the accomplishments of the combination of grassroots struggle and independent politics in Seattle, and I'd also like to give a report on my re-election campaign and make an appeal for you to help. First and foremost, of course, we won the $15 an hour minimum wage in Seattle after striking fast food workers brought this demand to the forefront. This is a transfer of wealth of $3 billion from the city's richest to the city's poorest workers. The Chamber of Commerce, Fox News, and the National Restaurant Association, of course, hate this, but the victory here helped the movement spread to win an even stronger 15 in San Francisco and elsewhere. Now, as evidenced on April 15th, this movement goes from strength to strength. Part of the establishment's campaign to defeat me this year is not only vengeance for this victory, but also to strike a blow at the current movement. We have also won a victory in preventing an attack on affordable housing, particularly affecting the large East African community in Seattle. The battle cry of our campaign now is for rent control to stop the epidemic of economic evictions that is pushing working class people out of Seattle. Sure enough, the big developers are getting ready to fight us. We also helped end the celebration of Columbus Day in Seattle, as we became one of the first major cities to rename the holiday to Indigenous Peoples' Day. But it's not only our victories that are noteworthy. We were a lone voice of dissent against the NSA's inroads into Seattle, against the appointment of a new police chief, and against the mayor's business-as-usual budget. We held hearings with union activists and community groups to put forward a people's budget for Seattle's 99%. We also campaigned alongside Black Lives Matter activists against a new youth jail. On all these issues, the establishment would like to silence the only voice fighting back against the dominant pro-business agenda. Seattle is home of Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing, and other big corporations. Local observers have predicted that my re-election campaign may see the most money spent in the history of Seattle City Council races. While we refuse to take a single dime from corporations, big business will not sit this one out. We saw in 2013 with Socialist Alternative member Ty Moore's campaign that shadowy right-wing groups like the National Realtors Association will intervene heavily to try to defeat socialists. Nationally, the establishment does not want to see a movement for rent control and quality housing grow the way the 15 movement has. They do not want to see demands to tax the rich to fund social services become part of the mainstream political discussion in major cities across the country. They do not want to see the movement of this conference for independent left politics grow. They do not want to see more State of the Union responses in which we ask provocative questions about why the president could not say those 3 words, Black Lives Matter. Resources will be mobilized across the country to try to defeat us this year. The demand for rent control has a huge echo among Seattle's working class. Large property owners have already responded with a widely circulated email that includes a call to arms, literally. This, my comrades, is our movement to fight to win. We need your unreserved financial support and political solidarity. Nationally, we need beacons of hope for independent politics from Richmond, California to Chicago, and the inspiring results for the Howie Hawkins and Brian Jones campaign in New York. These are steps forward. But we have to be alive to what's at stake this year. If they defeat us in Seattle, then they will claim that independent left politics are just a flash in the pan. Even many good activists could reach wrong conclusions from a potential defeat in Seattle and be drawn further into the Democratic Party or give up on left electoral politics. It will have real implications for the trajectory of this period of social movements. But we can win. Our re-election campaign has already won the backing of over 20 labor unions in Seattle. We have the support of many prominent civil rights campaigners, community activists, and even some Democratic Party activists who refuse to follow the party line when they are offered a real alternative. I want to appeal to you all to help. Jill Stein, my colleague on this panel, is committed to come to Seattle this year to help. The campaign to defeat us will be national, and we need your help across the country. Please donate as much as you can to the campaign by approaching the activists at the Socialist Alternative table. Please help us get in touch with your donors. Please send out solidarity messages, Facebook posts, tweets, and emails to get others to donate and get involved. This year, this is a key battle for independent politics and social movements. Working people cannot accept that warmongers like Hillary Clinton and union busters like Scott Walker are our only options. The 15 struggle has shown that if we fight, we can win, and the same is true in electoral politics. We need to be well organized with a clear set of demands and ideas. Please help us win in Seattle this year as a step to future victories. This conference has set for itself historic tasks. This can seem daunting, but we are living in a rapidly changing time, in a period of mass revolt. The system encounters crisis everywhere. Greece, Spain, and Ireland show us how fast political formations on the left can develop. The same can happen here in the United States if we organize and build our own independent strength. Good luck with the conference and solidarity.